one.
What is your profession?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're live and welcome to Ultimate Armwrestler 13. And once again, we come to you with the weekly show, bringing you 2 amazing matchups, and 4 absolute animals have entered the room and come and sat down at this press conference table. I just want to introduce from my left to right, Preston Panthers Luke Banks, the Claymore Scottish and Commonwealth champion James Stewart, 95 kilo Triple Crown King Atom Bomb Tom Aberton, and Nick, the midget missile Dodd. I know he'd love that one, the Nick Ratman Dodd, Club Torture's very own resident badass man, number 3 in the UK. Ladies and gentlemen, today we go to war on the table over there to my right, and we expect fireworks. Luke Banks, here son, welcome to Ultimate Arm Wrestler, welcome to Arm Gods.
Thanks for having me.
Late notice match, unfortunately, Matt Balk, or Back Ballsack as you called him, didn't you, Nick? Yeah, I think you called him Matt Ballsack. He pulled out, and you stepped up to the challenge, jumped straight in there a few days notice. Big bollocks that, son, very well done.
Thank you. Yeah.
But are you really ready for this, man?
As ready as I'll ever be, yeah. As you say, short notice. I got the call on Friday, put the tin of beans down. I was just 1 rep maxing on my bicep, and I thought, fuck it, we've got to do it. So you can't let an opportunity like this slide, so we're here.
Yeah, I remember speaking to Keith Taylor because we was in a bit of a mad panic because the thing is, Nick is red hot and nobody really wants to face him. He's a bit of a slippery slope for people, you know. He's in that area where he's just under that elite level, but just too good for the chasing pack. We saw you over here win the War Zone, you know, just a couple of months ago, and you was pretty much unstoppable throughout that day. You know, you're taking out 16 pins in a very, very solid class. What struck me most was the speed and power that you possessed. I know formerly, you know, champion rugby player. Would you feel like you've took a little bit of that over to the arm wrestling table?
I think so, yeah. Speed is definitely one of my better attributes. Need to work on that top end power, but I'm coming in fast today.
Have you managed to catch any videos on the Ram Man?
I've seen one or two things. A few lads said he's very strong in the strap, so we'll see what he's got.
And if you could keep it anywhere, you're going to give us a little bit of your game plan away if you've had a chance to build one?
I like top rolling. I like keeping height and speed, yeah.
Well, you're certainly going to be put against the test of speed. I mean, former powerlifting champion, former sprinting champion. I mean, Nick's got it as well. I mean, Nick is going to bring you into the conversation for a minute and just say that this guy has got a lot of bollocks, eh?
I massively appreciate him stepping up. So, obviously, Matt's pulled out of the match. I'm massively disappointed by that because I thought he was hashtag test your frame. And the you know what I mean? And the challenge got put out and the frame didn't show. Where's the frame?
What did you say then, Tom?
Test your balls.
So unfortunately, I was massively disappointed. And then, you know, you're right. I think, when did he pull out? Something like Tuesday. And then we've had half a week looking for a match with lots of people turning it down. So for me, massive respect for Luke jumping in and taking a match. I really appreciate it, and I'd love to be on here giving him a load of shit, but I can't because we won't be having a match if he didn't come. You know, so yeah, massively appreciate it, pal.
I was speaking earlier this morning with James Wall, Elliot Eccles, a couple of you other training mates as well, and they seem to think that this match is a little bit of a banana skin for you, Nick, because they're saying it's a 0-win scenario. You know, he's stepping up from the top end of the novice ranks there. Yeah, he trains in a fantastic club with legends like Keith Taylor, British champions, brothers in Paul and Chris Waters. Comes from an unbelievable arm wrestling team. Chris Rimmer, little Joe as well. You know, this guy's all been national champions throughout the time. So he comes from a very solid club. And it's just basically saying that this could be the new red hot thing. What do you reckon?
I hadn't heard of Luke when he got put into the chat. Had a look at the Warzone results, checked him out, and he looked like an absolute machine on it. So, you know, he's been arm wrestling a few years, maybe less on the competitive scene, you know, but he's been there doing the work, slogging away in the background, and he's made a little bit of a weapon of himself. So, you know, reality of it, style-wise, yes, he's got a long arm, weight class above me. Top rolls high. I've watched a few of his matches where he was flash pinning everywhere. So he has a style that could cause me a bit of grief. So I can see where people are coming from. We'll see where it goes, won't we? You know. You know, at the end of the day, he's proven himself already, and he's here. You know, so let's do it.
Yeah, well, I think that's all we've got to touch on, Nick. So we're going to pass that mic over to Atom Bomb. I mean, a lot of respect shown there in that match, and I really can't wait to see Luke and Nick go at it, who's literally riding on a crest of a wave. For me personally, Nick has been progressing nicely, and you know, it's been a quiet 6 or 7 months through one or two reasons, but Nick, it's really good to see you fighting and flying again.
Thank you, pal.
Atom Bomb!
Yes, Paul.
Well, just a few short months ago, you've made some very bold claims. You've threatened a few people more than one occasion, but surely you shouldn't be threatening something like that side of me. Like 6'6", 152 kilo of absolute Scottish Yeti.
Yeah, well, first of all, it's great to be here. Thank you to you and Marcus for the shows.
Oh no, just me, Tom. Just me.
Okay, you and Paul. Yeah. I really feel this format showcasing like newer guys. Like Luke, for a lot of people didn't really know. You know, that's the future of the sport, certainly in this country. So yeah, so that's great. Yeah, I think you're right regarding threatening James. It's probably not the smartest thing, but you know, I'm not here to take matches that I know I can win. I'm here for a challenge. I'm here to give myself some motivation to train hard. And you know what I say. If you shoot for the stars, you might reach the moon, which is higher than I am now. So yeah, that's it really.
you're in great form.
Yeah.
I mean, 95 kilo Triple Crown King. You battered pretty much everybody there was to beat.
Yeah.
In fact, that you wasn't really stopped upon that day. I know you picked up a little niggle in your wrist after a match with Ruben Hughes. You said to me it was a little bit more difficult than
But it looked.
than it looked.
Yeah.
But you'd also dropped a horrific amount of weight, as you do. I mean, you're probably the best cutter in the country of cutting weight.
And that's my thing, Paul.
Yeah. But no, you're not 95 kilo. You're back up to 107.
Yeah.
And you're looking extremely big and extremely strong. You've been sending me some videos. I've seen the numbers. I've seen the speed work that you've been doing. And what you have got on your side as well is you've actually got a win over the big man a couple of years ago in Nationals.
I have.
You must be very confident with that on your belt.
Yeah, I mean, style-wise, I probably have the perfect style for James, but you know, at the top level, it always comes down to a good big one will beat a good little one. That's why you don't see 70 kilo guys on East versus West beating 90 kilo guys. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't believe that James understands the sport as well as me. I don't believe that he's got the arm wrestling brain that I have, but he has got the size, he has got the levers, he has got the massive hands, and he's just got a lot of natural strength. And very shortly we're going to find out which is going to come out victorious.
If you was to pick him apart and break one part of him down, what looks vulnerable to you, which is it?
I think he can struggle mentally. I think maybe if the first round doesn't go so well, he might buckle a little bit, maybe panic, not stick to his game plan. I don't think he's really got the ability to change. But having said that, I'm the same that way. I'm pretty much a one trick pony. It either works if it doesn't. So I think we're pretty much the same there. Yeah, it's just going to come down to on the day who the stronger man is, and if the matches get close, and who's got the bigger heart. And I can tell you, no one's gonna beat me on heart. They might beat me on strength, but I'll pull till my arm falls off.
Well, Tom, just take this off you and give this to James. Ladies and gentlemen, James Stewart, the Commonwealth Super Heavyweight Champion. James, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here. But we've just heard Atom Bomb say mentally he thinks that's your weakest link. Is he right?
Well, just first of all to say thanks for making this match happen. I responded to call Tom's challenge, and I'm not known for turning down arm wrestling matches when I'm not fully peaked with like 16 weeks worth of training. Tom's just came off a tournament as well, so yeah, thanks for the opportunity. When it comes to people being mentally weak, I think it just comes down to experience on the table. If your top move doesn't work, should you try something else where you're not so good at? I personally believe if something doesn't move, you just hit it harder, hit it faster, more aggressive. And if that doesn't work, hit it again, even harder, faster, more aggressive. And the exact same thing that Tom says, that you really just have to go for it.
Well, I believe there is two James Stewarts. I've spoken about it on a regular occasion. I spoke to you about it earlier today. I don't think you're mentally weak. I think there becomes a guy who's bothered and a guy who's not. I was with you in Canada when you threw round Porkley Chop like a pork scratching, and then you threw me round like a pork scratching, and then you picked up AJ and threatened him, and he ran off as well. I saw a different side here. I saw the Claymore. I saw the 6'6" giant running towards the English, swinging around his 10-foot sword, chopping heads off and arms and legs. I saw that man, and that man scared me to death. Even to this day, I've had nightmares about you. I won't lie. But then I also see the gentle giant. The guy who goes and referees at nationals and doesn't really care and is nice and shakes everyone's hand gently. Now, that guy is the one who lost to Tom Atherton at nationals. Personally, I honestly believe this in my heart of hearts. trying to be not as biased on this show. But if you come out like you did against Pork Chop, I'll put out there is not one man in this country who could hold you down. That's what I believe. Which one's coming, James? That's what we want to know.
So, when it comes to arm wrestling, for me to get into the Claymore zone, I really have to put myself in a mental situation where you have to think about things that upset me, almost to the point you're almost in tears, and then you blame that person for putting you in tears.
Don't do that, James.
But that's a hit or a miss, because if you peak too early, yeah, my adrenaline just totally goes. I'm going to try my best to bring exactly what I did in Canada, what I bring in Wales, what I bring normally in a supermatch format. I don't have any responsibility. All I have to do is arm wrestle.
Mm-hmm. Well, I must admit, I'm looking forward to it. I really am, and I'm sure people are watching at home, and I'm sure these two guys after your match are looking forward to seeing what goes down as well. But does Atom Bomb really have anything to pose you a threat if you don't want him to?
So, Tom does make one point that his style in the past, even when we first started arm wrestling, it did pose a threat. But I believe I've grown as an arm wrestler. Mm-hmm. I've got a little bit quicker, but so is he. I believe if I can get my move off first, I don't believe there's many people that can out-cup my opposition.
Well, it's funny we're speaking about hands. I mean, I don't want to drag this on too long, but Atom Bomb has got one of the best cups in arm wrestling. Mm-hmm. You've got one of the best pronators in arm wrestling. Hand strength for hand strength.
Yeah.
But nobody I've seen has done any of these stupid feats that I've seen you doing with hand strength. I mean, that's my only worry for Tom, is that if he goes hand to hand, which I believe he's got to go, then it could be curtains. I mean, I remember being at Nationals, and me and my sister were there. I think you, Nick, as well. Was it me, you and Darren as well? And we're all, next minute, James Stewart comes legging it past about 22 mile an hour with your 84 kilo circus dumbbells or whatever they are in his hand, like he was like bags of shopping from Aldi. I said, what are you doing? He says, I'm off for a world record. Oh, that's Irish, not more like Marcus. Yeah, I did Marcus, didn't I? I'm off for hang on, let me get to me Rab C. Nesbitt bit. Scottish. I'm still going Irish there, I bollocks to it anyway. Either way.
Scottish.
Yeah, Scottish. Huh? I'm carrying my bags of shopping. No. Is that better?
The beginning.
Yeah, well, whatever it is. Anyway, cut a long story short, he was legging it down with his big dumbbells, Tom. 84 kilo a piece. Now, I've seen you lifting dumbbells, but I've never seen you lift an 84 kilo dumbbell. I've seen you maybe lift a 57 kilo.
I mean, I did a Thomas Inch first time train with zero grip strength, but more to the point is whether or not it translates to the table. Like we've seen time and time again, you'll know personally. We've had some ridiculous strongmen walking off the street. We can deadlift 400 kilos. 150 kilo guys that can just easily hold themselves and do pull-ups. Yet you get them on the table, and you're just popping around for like fun. So it's all to do with it's an amazing feat, and some of the strength he has in his hand and just natural ability for that strongman sort of stuff is absolutely fantastic. It's whether or not he can make it carry over. So obviously, we are going to find out shortly. That's it, isn't it?
You're peeking over there. Something to say, Nick?
I think the difference is, Tom, is that these strongmen that come in and they can do what James can do with the strong hand. The difference is they've got pieces of the puzzle that are lacking. So they come in with, say, a strong bicep or a strong hand, but they haven't got the pronation that man's got, or they haven't got the wrist that man's got because he's been working hard. So the translation of what he's doing, I think it means more at the stage that he's at. Well, this is not me counting you out, because I've got your back. If he gets you, mate, I'm going to jump on his back and he's going to run around like I'm a cape. So I've got your back, pal. Don't you worry.
I saw then, Dick. I have visions of you. What was that thing there? He's like a giant muscular man and it lives on him. Like in the
amoeba.
No, I think it was in Judge Dredd. Where's Beach? He's not here yet, is he? He's that thing. You know, and either way, if that Cueto or something, to fucking, you know, it lives in his belly, doesn't it? I mean, that's what you'd be doing on back of him, wouldn't it? Like some form of, like Yoda running up back of Luke Skywalker's back or something.
This will be during the round. Yeah.
No, only thing you mentioned you did the Thomas Inch. Well, I'm a bit worried that he's going to do the Tom Atherton 2-inch and just toss you around like a rag doll. That's what I'm a bit worried about.
Could happen, you know. That's what's exciting about when I take a match is that I know it's entirely possible that I get battered to the pad 3-0.
And then you're going to batter him to the pad. Final words.
That could happen.
Definitely.
Definitely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to leave it there because in around about 30 minutes' time, we're going to be on that table. These will be out the way. These absolute studs will be coming out the back of there with the sparks and the smoke. Link is in the description to watch the matches. Download the app. While you're at it, download the app or just go and watch it on armgods.com. And also, tickets are on sale for Valhalla 4, where you're going to get to see some of these guys go at it again. Tickets must be bought online. There is no entrance on the door, so don't forget to get your tickets. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see you in 30 minutes over on the app. Oh.